you want to talk about smooth wrestlers, smooth, smart, technically sound wrestlers, they don't get much better than Mason Conrad and Gary J. It's been a couple years since I last saw these two go one-on-one. It was not in Zelo Pro. It was with another organization, but I was so thrilled to watch that match, and I was completely satisfied after watching it. And now here we are. I get to witness it again, and what's old is new again. It's like I'm watching it all over again.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, we're actually in store for a bit of a treat because last month, Mason Conrad was not eligible to wrestle.
You're right.
Due to a knee injury, but he has been cleared for contacts and competition tonight. So we're going to see how that comes into play.
Gary J making his Zelo Pro debut. Now, granted, he was in Kansas City in January.
Well, his
Chicago Zelo Pro debut.
His sweet home Zelo Pro debut.
There you go. Yes. And now we're seeing that this is what I was expecting, these two to be feeling each other out. They know how dangerous and how effective. And La Magistral, this has been kind of a move du jour this evening. But Gary J was hesitant to strike, and he was wise to stay back.
Oh, here we go. The leader of the Gary J movement, getting the movement led. I don't know if he realizes what Jedi mind tricks are, but we're doing a.
Might be might be not the best decision to go into such a close quarters with Mason Conrad, but he gets the schoolboy roll up, 2 count only, 1 count only actually.
Gary J is feeding off the crowd, but Mason Conrad is slowly assessing the situation, just kind of sizing up his competitor.
I am recalled back to Gorilla Monsoon calling Greg Valentine back in the 80s. The longer it takes Mason Conrad 10, 11, 12 minutes before he even gets warmed up in a match. Mason Conrad, he will go as slow as necessary.
Methodically.
Yeah, he is methodical. He's a smart wrestler. He will pick up all those classic, not cliche, that's not the right word, but all those classic wrestler-isms of picking out a body part, wearing your opponent down.
And honestly, a lot of that comes from his training. If I'm not mistaken, he was trained by the late, great Harley Race. So a lot of his in-ring psychology is just tearing down his opponent, a la Harley Race.
Yeah, not afraid to be, he was formerly went by the old school all-star. Not worried way more about the winning the match in any way necessary versus but putting some pizzazz into the audience. Gary J just daring Mason Conrad to come in with that elbow, and he came at him full force, but Gary J, he can dish it out even more than he can take.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he's known as a stiff robo-ginger, but right there is proof of the pudding.
And Mason Conrad is having a tough time getting any sort of momentum going, and Gary J just so unorthodox. And did you hear that, pal?
Dude, any of his strikes can knock you out. Absolutely.
At any point in the match, Gary J is so dangerous. Blocks the kick, looking for that super kick, gets the knee right to the face. He may have knocked him out. That may be all it took right there.
Well, but Mason Conrad, good on him for using his Jedi. Oh, geez, right there going into the crowd.
Beautifully done. Thank you to Jack Miles for getting out of the way. He saw that one coming. Here comes Gary one more time. Now, this time Mason. Oh, he tripped over a chair out there.
Oh!
Mason Conrad with the suicide dive between the top and middle ropes. Beautifully done. Back and forth. What velocity these two.
You know, for as calm and collected, he sure does like to dish out the rage as well. Oh, and they're trading places once again. Mason Conrad is going to take, yes! Oh,
I think Gary J,
yes.
He may have blown, no, I was going to say he might have blew out a knee the way he landed, but he's up and he's on his feet. Is it adrenaline that's got him on his feet?
There is no stopping Gary J.
If adrenaline runs out, will he just collapse like the end of that 21 Pilots House of Gold video, just out? Is that what will happen? We'll find out here.
Gary J slowly climbing his way up to the top, taking heed of that duct work right above him.
Mason Conrad coming in, Some athletic, looking for that super kick again. Oh, he kind of faked it this time. Looking for that pile driver.
Oh, and there's a huge chop in the chest for Mason Conrad.
Big foot to the face by Gary J.
Oh, Mason Conrad just swiping anywhere, not sure where his opponent is.
Mason Conrad was looking for that. Suresu, I am not as adverse. That's what he calls that pile driver. But as Gary J just laying in the nastiest chops in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah, the crowd saying that, our photographer Mazel saying that he felt it. I felt it too.
Driving in that headbutt, that's not one you see very much anymore. 2 count only, says referee Chico Suave.
You know, that almost was 3, but Gary J did not have complete coverage of Mason Conrad. He kick out, but ooh.
Jawbreaker there.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody like Mason Conrad, unless you got him completely leveraged, you give him any inch, he'll take that mile to kick out. Back elbow smash by Gary J. Val, he's not capitalizing though. It's uncharacteristic of Gary J. I think he might be rocked.
Well, you know, there was that series of suicide dives to the outside. Oh.
Mason Conrad, I think, going for that super kick, going to that well once too often. Gary J seems to have it really scouted. He's catching it each time, and he's turning it into a reversal to his favor. Mason Conrad, I'm going to have to suggest might need to go to a new game plan as Gary J laying in those chops.
That was just brutal.
Looking around at the crowd, Gary J feeling like he had a breather, had a chance to do so, but look at that step through, gets that elbow right to the neck.
Yeah, Gary J trying to hype up the crowd and feed off the energy, whereas Mason Conrad goes to grab for the tights.
Looking for the tights. Oh, there he caught that super kick. Didn't go for it as an offense move, changed it to a defensive move, and it worked to his favor.
Yeah, it surely did. He just needs that second.
But Gary J to his feet, all the way to his feet first. Mason Conrad drives that knee in. Here's that Kurt Hennig style on the next snap, and he's going to keep that stuff going, I bet. Gets that Shining Wizard, that running side knee. This could be it right here. Mason Conrad with the pin. 2 count only.
Gary J reaching for that rope, trying to pull himself away from Mason Conrad. What is it going to take, Jimmy D?
Well, it's a veteran move by Gary J to move away, but Gary J he's got to come back. I think he's just going to have to knock Conrad out. Suresu looking for it on the second hardest part of the ring. The hardest part being the post, of course. Surprised he could not get the 3 on Mason Conrad.
That was 2 1/4 at least.
Gary J has got to be thinking and evading frustration all at the same time here. But thinking about what to do next. Maybe a high angle suplex. Maybe one of those nasty. Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
German release suplex by Mason Conrad. Oh, he got that. Got the knee up. That could be what Gary J needed. Go for the pin. He's looking for it. Grapevining both legs. 2 count only. Mason Conrad still very much in this. Maybe using the ways of the force to stay in this contest.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only way that he's surviving the hard-hitting style of Gary J. Gary J getting rather frustrated. Is that going to be his downfall?
Gary J picking Conrad up to his feet. That might have been a mistake as Conrad back with the knife edge chop. But do you want to get into a striking exchange with Gary J?
No, never do I ever want to do that. Oh, see? No, never. No, I'm good.
Yeah, the chest of Mason Conrad beginning to welt over from those chops. Back and forth, laying it in. Oh, Suresu coming up. He got it, too. That could be it. He just grabbed him and did it. He got it.
Brilliant. Using the fighting styles of the Jedi to take the win.
Here is your winner, Mason Conrad.
Well, Mason Conrad, Val, has definitely got himself a lights-out maneuver, one that can finish a match at any time, and one that he can grab in a snap. You don't usually associate the pile driver as one that you, as a move, you can grab in a snap, but Mason Conrad found a way, and it earned him the victory tonight. Live here at Joe's in Chicago on Fight TV and Zelo Pros Wrestling on Weed Street. I expect nothing less from these two sports athletes.